Hridaye Nashtaprayeshu Abhadreshu Nityam Bhagavata Sevaya Bhagavate Uttama Shloke Bhakti Bhavati Neshtike Om Jnana Timirandasya Jnananjana Shalakaya Chakshur Unmilitam Yena Tasmai Shri Guruve Namah Sri Caitanya Manobhistam Sthapitam Yena Bhutale Swayam Rupa Kadamayam Dadati Swapadantikam Vandeham Shri Guru Shri Yuta Padakamalam Shri Gurun Vaishnavamscha Shri Rupam Sagarajatam Sahagana Raghunathanvitam Tam Sajivam Sadvaitam Savadutam Parijana Sahitam Krishna Chaitanya Devam Shri Radha Krishna Padam Sahagana Lalita Shri Vishakhanvitamscha He Krishna Karuna Sindhu Dinabandhu Jagatpate Gopesha Gopika Kanta Radha Kanta Namastate Tapta Kanchana Gaurangi Radhe Vrindavaneshwari Rishabhanu Sute Devi Pranamami Hari Priya Om Vishnu Padaya Krishna Prishtaya Bhutale Srimate Bhaktivedanta Swamin Iti Namine Namaste Saraswati Deve Gauravani Pracharine Nirviseshasha Shunyavadi Paschatya Deshatarine Vanchakalpa Tarubhyascha Kripa Sindhu Evacha Patitanam Pavanebhyo Vaishnavebhyo Namo Namaha Jai Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhara Shri Vasadi Gaura Bhakta Vrinda Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare Hare. So we are going to continue reading from Srimad Bhagavatam. We are on Srimad Bhagavatam. We are Canto 3, Chapter 9. We are on text 23. So these are Brahmaji's prayers to Garbhodakshaya Vishnu. We're continuing with them. Esha Prapana Varado Ramyatma Shaktya Yat Karishyati Grihita Guna Avataraha Tasmin Svavikaramam Idam Srajato Apicheto Yunjita Karma Shamalam Cha Yatha Vijaya Vijayayam. Translation and purport by His Divine Grace, A.C. Bhaktivedanta Swami Srila Prabhupada. The Supreme Lord, the Personality of Godhead, is always the benefactor of the surrendered souls. His activities are always enacted through his internal potency, Rama, or the goddess of fortune. I pray only to engage in his service in the creation of the material world. And I pray that I not be materially affected by my works. For thus, I may be able to give up the false prestige of being the creator. So here Brahmaji is saying that he can become proud, no? That he's doing such important work. You know, he's doing the creation, giving shape to so many, all the living entities within the universe. So how we get proud, we get a little bit of power, a little bit of control, and we think, okay, there's no one greater than me. And it's true, there's no one greater than Lord Brahma in the universe. So he has a very good, very, very big position. So he's praying that he does not become proud. He does not artificially think that he is the creator, false prestige of being the creator. Because who's really the creator? Anyone?
Krishna.
Yeah, thank you. And this is just a duty which is given to Lord Brahma. And then Lord Brahma is calling Krishna always the benefactor of the surrendered souls. So as we were saying yesterday, we should not get scared to surrender to Krishna. We should not think he's gonna take advantage of us, because that's our experience in this material world. We feel that if we become subordinate to someone in this material world, then they will take advantage of us. They will make us do things which we don't want to do. And so we will be unhappy. But Krishna is not like that. He's the benefactor, in fact. So the souls that are surrendered to him, in fact, feel greater and greater bliss, greater and greater joy. And how are Krishna's activities performed? Through his internal potency. You know, Krishna is not under Maya. Some people think that Krishna is under Maya, but no, Krishna is not under Maya. Maya is his energy. So Krishna acts through his internal potency. And the internal potency is called Rama, or goddess of fortune. So let's read the purport. In the matter of creation, of material creation, maintenance, and destruction, there are three incarnations of the material modes of nature: Brahma, Vishnu, and Maheshwar. But the Lord's incarnation as Vishnu, in his internal potency, is the supreme energy for the total activities. So it's Lord Vishnu, the Shirodakshai Vishnu, actually, who is maintaining this universe. Brahma, who is only an assistant in the modes of creation, wanted to remain in his actual position as an instrument of the Lord, instead of being puffed up by the false prestige of thinking himself the creator. That is the way of becoming dear to the Supreme Lord and receiving his benediction. So even in Bhagavad Gita, Krishna tells to Arjuna, just become my instrument. Nimitta matra savya sachi, he says. Just become my instrument. And that's what we should do. Try to become good instruments of Krishna. Good instruments for the pleasure of Krishna. Foolish men want to take credit for all creations made by them, but intelligent persons know very well that not a blade of grass can move without the will of the Lord. Thus, all the credit for wonderful creations must go to him. By spiritual consciousness only can one be free from the contamination of material affection and receive the benedictions offered by the Lord. So we can come to this stage, truly act on that stage, is only when we start hearing and chanting about Krishna, engaging in devotional service, bhakti yoga. Only bhakti yoga can bring us to this platform. Because many people, of course, say, oh, Jaisi Bhagwan ki ichha. But then it's just, we are saying it by the lips, no? What are we actually desiring? Very few people will actually desire what is the Lord's desire. Internally, we are all desiring, oh, everything should go according to me, what I think is correct. Each of us is thinking that, you know, but what is Krishna's desire? That the more we hear and chant, then we will be able to understand Krishna's desire and fulfill Krishna's desire. It's like Prabhupada gave the story. There's one man, before he sleeps at night, he's praying, my dear Lord, please protect me and my house tonight, that I should be safe. I should not be harmed by any thieves. And there is a thief praying to also the Lord. My dear Lord, please help me that I shall be able to steal from this house tonight. You know, so we can see how each of us have different desires. And then God has to fulfill and make such arrangement that he has to fulfill everyone's desire, right? Because he's in everyone's heart. So we are all desiring different things and they clash with each other. So what we should try to do is desire what's the desire of the Lord. And what's the desire of the Lord? Everyone come back home. Everyone come back home. And then till the time we are here, we give this message of the Lord to everyone else. So they can also understand they don't need to be here and they can go back home. Is that okay?
Yes.
So text 24. Nabi hridad iha sato ambasi yasya pumso Vijnana Shakti Aham Asam Ananta Shaktehe Rupam Vichitram Idam Asya Vivirnavato Me Marishishta Nigamasya Giram Visargaha. Sorry. Okay. The Lord's potencies are innumerable as he lies down in the water of devastation. I'm born as the total universal energy from the navel lake in which the lotus sprouts. I am now engaged in manifesting his diverse energies in the form of the cosmic manifestation. I therefore pray that in the course of my material activities, I may not be deviated from the vibration of the Vedic hymns. So every person engaged in the transcendental loving service of the Lord in this material world is prone to so many material activities. And if one is not strong enough to protect himself against the onslaught of material affection, he may be diverted from the spiritual energy. So here also, because we have an independent choice, whether we want to associate with the external energy, the material energy, or with the internal energy. So even the devotees who are engaged in devotional service, so what they need to do, make the choices which will help them to come closer and closer to Krishna, to remember Krishna, and to avoid the choices which is going to help make them forget Krishna. So in the material creation, Brahma has to create all kinds of living entities with bodies suitable to their material conditions. So that's how also we should try to make our choices. Or if I make this choice, is it going to help me to remember Krishna? Then we should try to do it. Oh, and if I take this choice, is it going to make me forget Krishna? Oh, then I shouldn't do it. So here Brahma is creating the living entities with bodies suitable to their material conditions. Brahma wants to be protected by the Lord because he has to contact many vicious living entities. An ordinary Brahmana may fall from the Brahma Tejas or the power of Brahmanical excellence due to his association with many fallen conditioned souls. So we can see how association is so important. Like Ajamil, he just saw the prostitute with another man. He was a Brahmana. He was engaged in devotional service. He was a Brahmana. But just by associating for that moment with the prostitute and with the man, then he got attracted to the prostitute. He forgot his Brahmanical qualifications. So association is very important. Similarly, Mrigari the hunter, was engaged all the time in killing the animals. But just a moment's association with Narad Muni changed him completely. He became a pure devotee of the Lord. So association, we should also try to associate with the devotees. Brahma, as the supermost Brahmana, is afraid of such a fall down, and therefore he prays to the Lord for protection. This is a warning for one and all in the spiritual advancement of life. Unless one is sufficiently protected by the Lord, he may fall down from his spiritual position. Therefore, one has to pray constantly to the Lord for protection and the blessing to carry out one's duty. So Prabhupada, also in his humility, one time he was offering prayers to the deity, and the devotee next to him asked him, "Oh, Prabhupada, what are you praying?" Prabhupada said, "I'm praying to the Lord to protect me from Maya." So although Prabhupada is a liberated, pure devotee, he's a pure devotee, he's on the liberated platform, he was not in Maya, but yet by his humility, he was showing us how to whatever mood should be. So here Prabhupada is saying we should pray constantly to the Lord for protection and the blessing to carry out one's duty. That then it keeps us humble that, oh, I'm not the one who's doing it. It's by the mercy of the Lord, it's the grace of the Lord that I'm able to do whatever I'm doing. Lord Caitanya also entrusted his missionary work to his devotees and assured them of his protection against the onslaught of material affection. The path of spiritual life is stated in the Vedas to be like the edge of a sharpened razor. A little inattentiveness may at once create havoc and bloodshed, but one who is a completely surrendered soul, always seeking protection from the Lord in the discharge of his entrusted duties, has no fear of falling into the material contamination. So we are advised that we always constantly pray to the Lord for his mercy, for his protection, because it is by his grace everything is happening. And so that we don't get carried away. Like Brahmaji is praying that he does not get carried away thinking that he's the creator. So same, following in the footsteps of Brahmaji, we should also pray. It's Krishna, please keep me close to your lotus feet. And please help me to remember that whatever I'm doing is by your mercy, by the mercy of Guru Maharaj. Is that okay?
Yeah.
Any comments? Anything to add? Question?
No.
So text 25. So asav abhadra karuno bhagavan vivriddha prema smitena nayanam buruham vijrim ban uttaya vishwa vijaya chano vishadam madhavya girapa nayatat purusha puranaha. The Lord, who is supreme and is the oldest of all, is unlimitedly merciful. I wish that he may smilingly bestow his benediction upon me by opening his lotus eyes. He can uplift the entire cosmic creation and remove our dejection by kindly speaking his directions. So here Brahmaji is saying we just have to follow his authority. He's saying clearly that I'm not the creator. The creator is the Supreme Lord. The Garbhodaksha is his expansion. So the whole knowledge is given here so clearly, you know. So as we are listening, as we accept the knowledge of the teacher when she's teaching us ABC, even though we don't understand, oh, why do I need to learn this ABC? When we are learning ABC, we don't realize, oh, with this, I will be able to read, I will be able to make sentences, I'll be able to write essays. But just having faith in the teacher, we start accepting her knowledge. Similarly, Brahmaji is giving us the full knowledge here. We just have to accept it with faith and engage in devotional service with firm faith. Hearing and chanting about Krishna with firm faith, we should continue. So the Lord is ever increasingly merciful upon the fallen souls of this material world. The whole cosmic manifestation is a chance for all to improve themselves in devotional service to the Lord. And everyone is meant for that purpose. So Krishna, he's very compassionate. He never says, oh, you made the choice that you don't want to be with me. Okay, so now I never ever want to see you again. No, he doesn't do that. He still wants us to come back home. He wants us to realize our true position. And why he wants us to come back home? Because he knows we will be the most happiest there in the original, in our natural position. And so that's why he's made this material world for us. But because we have that rebellious attitude that we don't want to serve Krishna, we think, oh, Krishna made this world for us. Why? Because we should enjoy it. We should enjoy. But what Krishna does, he sends his devotees. He comes himself to give us the good instructions. Hey, you're not this body. Come back. And then the only way we can improve ourselves is devotional service. It's not by gyan, not by yoga, not by any mental imagination, nothing, only devotional service. The Lord expands himself into many personalities who are either self-expansions or separated expansions. So the personalities of the individual souls are his separated expansions, whereas the self-expansions are the Lord himself. So we also want to be the Lord. That's our desire. So we are separated expansions of the Lord. We are not Vishnu Tattva, we are Jiva Tattva. But we are part of the Lord, separated expansion. The self-expansions are predominators and the separated expansions are predominated for reciprocation of transcendental bliss with the supreme form of bliss and knowledge. So that's our true position. We are parts of Krishna. We are expansions of Krishna, but we are not Krishna. We are not God. We are tiny. Krishna, he's unlimited. And we are very, very tiny, infinitesimal. And so what's our relationship? We have a relationship with Krishna based on loving reciprocation. Loving reciprocation. The liberated souls can join in this blissful reciprocation of predominator and predominated without materially concocted ideas. So liberated soul means what? Means they know their true position. Oh, Krishna is the one who's maintaining me. He's the one who is my, I'm his eternal servant. I have an eternal relationship with him. And so let me engage in his pastimes. That is the liberated soul. And then we the conditioned souls, we are here in the material world because why? We think, we imagine so many things for ourselves. We imagine I'm this or I'm that. I'm meant to enjoy, I'm meant to control. Those are our materially concocted ideas. The typical example of such a transcendental exchange between the predominator and the predominated is the Lord's Ras-Lila with the gopis. So we say, why God has to be the predominator? Why can't I be the predominator? Why do I have to be the one who's predominated? Maybe I can change. Okay, if you're saying I'm predominated, but I can change and I can become the predominator. That's the reason we are here in the material world. And that's the mentality we have to give up. That's the mentality we have to give up. So the gopis are predominated expansions of the internal potency, and therefore the Lord's participation in the Ras-Lila dance is never to be considered like the mundane relationship of man and woman. It is rather the highest perfectional stage of the exchange of feelings between the Lord and the living entities. So the gopis, they are the highest devotees of the Lord, because their love for Krishna is the strongest, is the sweetest. And is said to be the perfectional stage, I'm sorry, of feelings between the Lord and the living entity. So we can also come to that platform, but not by force, not by artificially, not by imagination, but by devotional service, by understanding our true position. And that is self-realization. That is self-realization. Self-realization is not that to realize that I'm God, but self-realization is to realize that I'm a servant of God. I'm a part and parcel of God. The Lord gives the fallen souls the chance for this highest perfection of life. Lord Brahma is entrusted with the management of the complete cosmic show, and therefore he prays that the Lord bestow his blessings upon him so that he may execute its purpose. So we can see that Brahmaji has such an important role to play in this creation, because the creation is there for us. So we can give up the false idea that I want to be the predominator. Why can anyone rule me. I want to be the ruler. So for us to be able to correct this thinking, this whole creation is happening and the whole creation is entrusted to Brahmaji. So he realizes that he has an important role to play, and so he's praying for the Lord's mercy, for the Lord's blessings. Is that okay?
Yes.
Any questions, comments, anything to add? No? So we'll read on. Maitreya Vacha Swasambhavam Nisham Yevam Tapo Vidya Samadhibihi Yavan Mano Vachastutva Virarama Sakhinnavat. The sage Maitreya said, O Vidur, after observing the source of his appearance, namely the personality of Godhead, Brahma prayed for his mercy as far as his mind and words would permit him. Thus, having prayed, he became silent, as if tired from his activities of penance, knowledge, and mental concentration. So this was all Maitreya Muni had started speaking to Vidura, giving him the knowledge of what happened when the day of Brahma began. Brahma's enlightenment and knowledge was due to the Lord sitting within his heart. After being created, Brahma could not ascertain the source of his appearance. But after penance and mental concentration, he could see the source of his birth. And thus he became enlightened through his heart. The spiritual master outside and the spiritual master within are both representations of the Lord. Unless one has contact with such bona fide representations, one cannot claim to be a spiritual master. Lord Brahma had no opportunity to take help from a spiritual master from outside, because at that time Brahma himself was the only creature in the universe. Therefore, on becoming satisfied by the praise of Brahma, the Lord enlightened him about everything from within. So the Chaitya Guru, the Lord within the heart, the Paramatma, he is also a spiritual master because he's guiding us. And then, but because we are not on the pure level, we need a spiritual master outside. So a spiritual master that we can see and speak to. And they both should be telling the same thing. It's not that we accept a spiritual master and then he tells us something which is totally against the Vedas. No, then that's not a spiritual master, but a true bona fide spiritual master. True bona fide spiritual master. So the spiritual master is a representative of the Supreme Lord. He's a representative of Krishna to help us, to bring us back home. It's like there is an Indian embassy here in Taiwan, and then the Indian embassy, the ambassador is given the authority by the Indian government, by the President of India. He has been bestowed the power to issue visas for India, to issue passports, So when he puts the stamp, when the stamp is put, then people can go to India with that visa. So similarly, the spiritual master is a representative of the Lord here in this material world for us, to help us take us back to the spiritual world. The authorized spiritual master, bona fide spiritual master. So let's stop here for today. Yeah.
Yeah.
Thank you so
Happy
much.
Ekadashi.
Happy Ekadashi. Yes, happy Ekadashi.
Happy Ekadashi.
Happy Ekadashi.
Thank you so much for joining in.
Thank you.
Raji. Hare Krishna. Hare Krishna, everyone.
Hare Krishna.